Alright guys, welcome to a very special Honkai Star Rail video for the channel. As
What
yes,
is
I have Sushong in front of my screen.
Something is... Do you want to leave?
And yes, she's very confused. And anyway, I just want to let you guys know that I spent over a week on Honkai Star Rail, and I'm having the best time of my life playing a new gacha game. And even if it's not gacha, it's not for you, I'm having an entire time like just enjoying the game itself. Like, I haven't been like this super invested in like a turn-based game since like, I don't know, Fire Emblem Three Houses and any Trails game like Kuro no Kiseki 2, Trails in or Hajimari no Kiseki, or Trails into Reverie, whatever. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the game so far. As you guys can see right now, I'm already Trailblazer level 36. And yes, I'm going to show you guys some of the characters I already have right now, which is right here. So yeah, I'm going to start off with a bit of like the MC. MC is right here. I'm currently training at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters. Probably 10 once I get the chance to get more materials. Yeah, I'm using my MC, which is Fire Trailblazer for Trailblazer's reasons. Yeah, I really like Fire Trailblazer. I think like one of the best free-to-play units currently right now. Same goes for Natasha, one of the best healers, because like, well, she's the only good healer that we have that's not like Bailu. Because Bailu is an exclusive 5-star unit, and like we won't get another healer in like a while. So yeah, it's kind of like the Barbara of this game, but like, at least Natasha is like a pretty decent healer. Then of course we got Don Hung, really a free-to-play unit that you can get pretty early. Very strong free-to-play unit you can get. As if you see what most of my content, Don Hung is basically like most of the content like that really digs out like free-to-play wise and one-shotting. Same goes for March 7th. March 7th, even though like she's like built up, she's like a pretty decent free-to-play unit. She's not terrible in a way. Like I'd say because of the fact that she can freeze her targets, which is pretty decent. But it requires a lot of like super investment because she's way different from your usual character. Because one, her basics and they're not in ultimate, they're not gonna do as much damage, but they're gonna do to the point where it matters during certain team comps. And yeah. And yes, of course, I managed to get my first 5-star unit in Himiko. I think Himiko is just okay. Like, Himiko itself is a fire unit, yes. Like, fire units are pretty decent, but compared to Trailblazers, like, I think coverage is way better. But I think Himiko is just an okay farming unit. I don't think there's really much to say, but like, just complete farming. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the design. I know she's part of Honkai Impact, and like she has many alts, but like I think she's pretty alright. I wouldn't say like she's like the best, but it's not the worst. You could be worse. Like you could probably be like, you know, maybe Yangqing. I don't know. I think she's probably the worst, but I don't know. It's controversial. Also, we got Bronya. Bronya is, well, she's on a tier where Braxphone talks about it in his tier list, that Bronya is basically Bronya tier because she can literally do what, and like if you notice in Trail's perspective, like she has a ability that allows her to give crit damage buff and attack buff to all allies, including the skill which removes a debuff and allows them to accelerate their turn after her, which is pretty insane. And also the fact that she can increase the attack of her movements, and she's very fast too, which is pretty nice too, because like, well, Bronya's Bronya, and Bronya's like one of my favorite units to use because like it reminds me of Trails of all the accelerate abuse that I've done in the past. And you guys are gonna see me that during Trails into Reverie when that comes out, so I'm looking forward to that. And also we got new ones that I didn't expect. Serval. I did not expect Serval to be this good, because her AoE lightning damage. Plus, I like her. I really like the half design she has. One part like Bellabog and part punk rock, of course, which is pretty cool. The fact he's sibling with Drapard. And also the fact that, well, both this basically makes her AoE. And her refills energy cost is pretty nuts. Like, it's pretty nuts, like, how good this element is. Because it has so much AoE. And it applies Shock, which basically puts more AoE. It's kind of like Burn in a way, but, like, Shock is, like... It literally, like, just gives more damage over time. It's probably better damage over time than, like, a lot of the other ones. Like, better than Freeze or better than Fire, which is pretty insane. I think Wind is still strong, but, like, this is, like, a whole nother level. Like, in free-to-play wise. You could use her free-to-play, which is pretty cool. And, like, they give you for free, and, like, you will not be disappointed. And last two we're going to talk about is, of course, Sushong. Sushong was, like, a rare pick that I got yesterday. Like, so he's like, if you don't like physical Trailblazer, which is on the path of destruction, Sushong is just way better. Plus she's 4-star, that means you can likely get more Eidolons in the future as well. And the fact that, well, she does like a ton of like single target damage, physical wise. And physical's, I'd say it's pretty strong because it applies an effect where she can give her bleed, and like she's really good like with her skill. Her skill is really nuts, by the way. Like it randomly crits, which is pretty cool, and there's like bits of damage to it, including the fact that she has a big chicken in battle, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, Sushong's like one of my favorites. And yeah, I also have Seal. Now, if you guys like caught up with my live streams on both YouTube, Twitch, and probably the YouTube video that I've been wanting to get Seal since day one. Like, closed beta test 2, when I saw it last year, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna play this game. I want this character because I heard she's broken. And then once we get to launch time, you know, my polls were pretty bad, very like really bad, to the point where I got hard pity into getting Bronya. Don't get me wrong, Bronya is a hard W because Bronya is so rare that if you actually get Bronya, you will actually be like insane for like content. Like, well, you could be worse. You could be Asta, which is like right here. But when you have Bronya's on like on a whole different league of like support variant brokenness. And then, of course, I am still training her. I am still leveling. Oh, I don't have like a lot of her traces leveled up, unfortunately. I did level these traces, but like, I know I need to unlock these two right here, which boosts her damage quite a bit. So you won't, I can't expect to get a fully built Sela, which the fact that I'm gonna be using this 5-star light cone probably, because like I do have other hunt light cones, but I think like, yeah, I like the hunt character. The hunt characters do so much single target. Not the best AoE wise, but like, but I know bosses, when it certainly matters, is that these things do a ton. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that when I get a chance to get more materials to enhance my light cone, because like, I've been using all my resources to min-max. For those wondering what min-max is basically you, before you do your equilibrium level, which is basically your ascension level where you go past a certain point to like use better stuff, you can actually literally, how do I say this? Min-max. That means leveling up every single thing like up to the max level, including your level ups to the max level, which require a lot of materials and expensive resources, but that's not the matter at that point, because like, I'm planning to get more special resources once I get the battle pass. upgrading their skills eventually, because like, well, getting their skills is pretty cool, honestly. And don't get me wrong, like I think getting their skills is like nuts for sure. So I'm definitely looking forward to like maxing everything out, the ones that you really need. You don't have to like get the ones like, you know, this gives you defense and like it's only 5%. This gives you effect resistance, which is pretty cool. Like hers give you HP. I'm surprised it's not outgoing healing, but unfortunately that's gonna be on like a certain thing, like right here. So yeah, min-maxing before you ascension, which is pretty cool. Relic system, okay, for Genshin, I still hate the relic system. They're the widely part of why late game kind of like is boring. And yes, I do heard like that there is a big massive upgrade to the artifact system, but it's still the artifact system. It's still terrible because like, because eventually once we get to a certain point, we're gonna have to be getting like the 5-star artifacts, and like once we get to the 5-star artifacts we give for our main stats, we do the min-maxing or the best substats, and like that's gonna be a pain in the ass once we like get to late game. But I know early stages is like we're trying to get them and we're trying to like level them up, and then if you once we eventually get those 5-star artifacts, like we'll think of like when we'll get the set, and like yeah, I think pass equal or Trailblaze level 40 is when we'll start caring about these things, of course. Yeah, like you don't have to worry too much about like super relics until like you're ready to like get super like past level 40, because you'll definitely get 5-star relics. Don't get me wrong, but like there's a way that, well, I heard people said in the closed beta test that we're gonna be getting these things called the Relic remains, and people said it's pretty nuts if you get them. These Relic remains will coherently make you an artifact of your choice, which is something Genshin really needs. And like I feel like this game listened towards the Genshin like problems it had, and it applied it so much better in this game. Of course, you got the Express Supply Pass. I already have this because I spent $5, so I'm not free to play as you guys say I should be. This is right here. This is pretty cool. 5-star light cones. Although you'll eventually get them someday, but like on the shop, okay, and in Genshin, there's only like 4-star weapons, and they're like very mediocre, like niche, and not as good 4-star weapons. But this is like 5-star stuff. Literally, like one for each character. Himiko, Clara, got Bronya, Well, Japard, got Bailu, you got Yangxing, which like hell yeah, which is pretty awesome, honestly. And I'm the more you pull, the more you'll get these kind of things, and the more like you actually get to choose which one you want to get. It really depends on if you already have Bronya, you can go for this one. If you have Himika, you can go for this one. If you have Clara, you can go for this one, etc. So this is something that I really like, and also it refreshes every month. So like, you don't have to get multiple copies, but like, you'll get 5-star icons pretty early as a free-to-play player. I do think that free-to-play wise, you get so much pretty early. I gotten over 200 pulls. No, I'm being very serious. I got in over 200 pulls just for playing for 8 days straight, without having to whale anything. This doesn't really much count because I still haven't used this. I've only gotten like 80 of this, so like 720. So I didn't use. It's not much I use for this. It's just like a small amount per day, but it's still something. But that's not the case here. It's the Embers exchange. Getting these things, the more you summon, very valuable. The Star Rail passes that you can get. And yeah. And the fact that warping, I've already summoned so much for warping to the point where I'm just going to do a test warp right now. So In order to tell what a 5-star is, if one of the tickets is actually rainbow, and the music changes, and there's a golden door, that's when you know we have a 5-star. There's like 3 different like ways to literally spot it if you're getting a 5-star or not. Like, I'm gonna do another warp again because I already have like star rail passes. Because why the fuck not? Although I did kept summoning on this, and like I only got myself a 5-star light cone, which I didn't want because I don't have Clara. Yes, I got a Clara light cone, and it's not that great for me because like I don't have Clara, and like and also there's also one more thing. I know the starter banner is already gone. Since I got my first 5-star, you can literally just use all your star rail passes. All you really need is 40, and you get a guaranteed 5-star. Well, you can also get other 5-stars if you're lucky, but like you get a guaranteed 5-star up to 7, and I got Himiko. This is something so cool that Genshin that didn't have, is that you were guaranteed a Noel for like two like polls, 10 polls or 8 polls, whatever, and you didn't really guarantee yourself a 5-star unless like you're doing on standard or like these banners. But they made a banner where you do 40 polls, 50 polls, and you'll guarantee yourself a 5-star. Like, literally. Also, another thing, pretty cool. Standard banner, something that's pretty much bad. Even though the bad thing about this is that if you lose your 50-50, well, only in this. If you lose your 50-50 in this, you basically guarantee. It's like Genshin. It's still kind of bad in a way, but it's still... You know, it is what it is. But light cones itself, this one is actually 75-25. And it's not double paired weapon banner, at least. So thank God for that. I'm pretty sure they're going to do separate. Because people really like these 75-25 odds. Because, like, you're fixated to get one weapon up to 5-star. Even though I don't think that the light cone banner is not the... Like, I wouldn't really recommend it unless you really, really need a light cone. Because you get plenty of 5-star light cones the more you play the game every day. Which is pretty cool. Which is, like, yeah. Okay, now back to the standard banner. Standard banner. Additional rewards. So, the more you summon on the standard banner, basically your standard passes, you'll get a 5-star of your choosing once you get 300 warps in. You get to choose one of these 7 characters. So, like, if you've been getting, like, these 5-stars, and you still don't own, like, I don't know, like a Bailu, which I definitely want, or, like, a Welt, or Japard, or a Clara, or a Bronya, especially Bronya. Bronya is, like, the best out of the 7. You can literally get them to join your team, literally for free. But, however, this reward can only be claimed once, so you gotta really strategically figure out when you're gonna get it. And also the fact that you keep an eye out on your pity for either your standard banner or your focus banner to know that if you do lose a 50-50, you could honestly get one of the characters 7 in here if you lose your 50-50. So you gotta be careful about that, so... There's also that. So I say save this until you actually feel like you really need it. And if you feel confident that once you use it, you're confident that you don't get another duplicate. And if you do get another duplicate, then it's RIP. Alright, anyway. I think the main focus right now is that I'm going to show you guys a bit of combat, which is the main selling point of this game. So we're going to go to this thing. Our endgame content. One of the big features of the endgame content that I really like to do is right over here is what we call the Forgotten Hall.
Do you want to enter the Forgotten Hall?
And yes, the Forgotten Hall, you can unlock it during a certain point in your rank, which is probably like Trailblaze level 22. It's kind of like Genshin's Spiral Abyss, but I don't know if this refreshes because there's like 15 levels to this. And I've been struggling to like clear out 8, 9, 10. But yeah, I'm gonna go into like a example battle right here. which is honestly like, I'm just gonna put my regular team, do Natasha, no, March 7th, Natasha, Donheng, and like, this is my kind of free-to-play team, technically. The more you play through, don't get me wrong, these 4 in a team are actually pretty good together. They will carry you through like the beginning stages of content, unless you really want more units, 5-star units like these 3, or even you get this for free, or this one you just get from wishing because like, well, there's also this character and this character, but we're not gonna go touch that right now. So this game has a bit of an auto battle system too, but we won't get to that just yet. So I'm gonna show you some example combat right here.
We need a strategy.
And also, for those wondering that if this game's like similar to Trails, it is a bit similar to Trails.
Position.
I think a lot of this is inspired by the Trails mechanics. Like when you attack first, you get an advantage in battle. You get the delay system on the top left system. If you guys played like any Trails game before Kuro, you'll recognize that the delay bar system right here is typical Trails. So here we have Donheng, who's also a Wind, and he's gonna attack someone with the Wind weakness right up here, which is definitely weak too.
Tough luck running into me!
And then we have March 7, which is a defensive character, which wields a shield. And what you can do is like you just give your person a shield, and they get like 1,000.
Time for a shot.
And it sometimes attracts the opponent from attacking a shield, but it didn't happen in so case. Then we have Natasha. Natasha's a physical unit, but also like a healer, which she can heal in battle right here, which I can just heal right now, but I'm not gonna do so. So I'm just gonna attack this unit right here, just do physical damage. Then we have Trailblazer, which like you'll get to unlock if you progress through the story of the game. And Trailblazer is one of the strongest units right now because of the fact that even though physical Trailblazer is okay, this one's just way better because she takes like reduced damage and applies shields for everyone and defensive buffs for everyone. Now you guys are gonna see this ultimate right here. So if you press this right here, you see Donheng's turn.
The truth of life and death.
I'm gonna attack this guy right here.
The sanctuary is but a vision. Break!
And like he gets his turn back. So when you use an ultimate, it doesn't take up your turn, which is pretty cool. And it's basically a free attack. You want to be spamming this as much as possible, for sure.
Gotta try hard sometimes.
Like for example, this she gets her turn.
Awesome move.
So if I use this ultimate, there's no delay input for that, which she gets her turn back.
Naughty child.
Which is pretty cool.
Nap time.
Lance ablaze.
I'm gonna attack with this my fire MC.
Lance forward.
Same thing again. You literally no delay out for these attacks. And you guys got these skill points right here. You gotta make allocated use of your skill points to figure out if your team is doing a lot of damage, for sure.
Reveal the sanctuary is but a
because
vision.
those skill points become very valuable because if you do need them when you need them the most,
My turn.
you want them to be used. And you can refresh them by either just attacking normally,
Go away.
which is also another thing. Like for example, I attack here, I can refresh
I'm on
this.
guard.
I've no interest
And there's
in
also an
conflict.
auto battle feature, which the game basically auto battles for you right here. So you don't really have to do anything and let the game play for itself.
Watch
Even though the
this
AI
awesome move.
kind of sucks for auto battles sometimes, it's still a feature that people still use for like farming content instead of just manually just pressing the buttons when you need it to.
Lance forward.
Like yeah, I can let the battle play out right here, and they'll eventually just beat this
but a
boss
vision.
right here. Like I'm not even pushing anything right now. I'm letting the battle go for itself, and like they're just spamming abilities, they're just trying to put out the most damage they could, and boom, there's that. So
Past
we're gonna
victories
exit the
don't
Forgotten
guarantee
Hall right
future
now,
ones.
and yeah. If you guys want to add me, my add me is in my Trailblazer profile. My UID is right here. I'm level 36. guys can use my support character Bronya if you like, just so she could have a big boon into your battles ahead. This will probably change the Seal because like I still need to build Seal because Seal's like one of the best characters solo wise in the game. Yes, stronger damage than these two, and I really like these two. But yeah, but Seal's like the best one because like, well, and I will say the story, the music, the gameplay, top tier in its own way. Like, you will not be disappointed. Although, like, people will be disappointed it's a gacha and it's like, you know, people think gachas suck because, you know, they're not interested in that kind of thing. But honestly, even besides the gacha, the game is already fucking fun. Like, I'm swearing, but the game is super fun on its own. Here, we have these daily missions that you'll eventually unlock as you progress through the game. These take about 2 minutes to complete. Literally. And I compared it to Genshin because like I've done Genshin dailies for over 2 years so far. These things are so much filled to complete. You get a bunch of like Trailblaze EXP, kind of like your adventure rank in Genshin. Also get like a lot of these things, Stellar Jades for your rolls. Like you're eventually gonna get a lot of materials out of this. This one, when you see these resin things, I know they brought back the resin system. I know people are not a huge fan of it, but you can actually get like a lot of stuff just from auto battling if your team is confident enough to like battle them. What's the best part? You could choose how many times you want to battle, which is so cool. So let's say you have this right here. You want to get some EXP books or you want to get some Light Cone EXP. You can at least use 60 resin in one go and you'll face like 6 battles. And all you could do is just auto battle and like go away for a bit and wait till it's done while moving on fast forward, which is so cool. And like you'll get your materials faster than ever because like turn-based games for gachas, they're always known for the auto battle system. And like I think the auto battle system is a function that definitely was like needed, including its fast forward system. It's kind of like Epic 7 in a way, but at least with this game is like way built different of like how fun it is. And I know it's only like the first week of launch, but I think this game's gonna be fucking top tier. It's gonna be one of the top tier. I know people will probably like get tired of it after like the first month or so. But I know this game is like, there's so much content to do. And also the fact that there's also one more place that we can check out right now, which is in Herta Space Station. Herta Space Station right here is what we call the Simulated Universe. Simulated Universe you'll be able to unlock, and you'll be able to like do a lot of things right here. So here we have different kinds of worlds where you get to do different kinds of battles, and the more you clear this, you can basically defeat boss enemies, you can beat enemies. Well, not only that, you can put any comp you like depending on what the enemies are. You can do customization of your stuff, which are these blessings, will give you a boon in battle. There's a ton of blessings. So if you guys played a game like Slay the Spire, you'll recognize that you'll get like a certain like cards. Like, you know, and similar to Genshin Spyro Abyss, you get cards in battle, but there's only like a few ones you get, which like they turn effective, but they don't really like become super effective until like you see it. But yeah, you get like these blessings, which like the more you go ahead, the more blessings you get, the more like stuff you get, the more like effects you get, like collecting these things, which give you like a lot of boons, either in battle or throughout the whole thing itself. And like the best part about that is that they're actually tough. Like look at this. I only cleared this on difficult 1, and then you need level 50 units, and I think this is like super hard in itself. Like this is literally, and there's like a difficulty 2, 3, 4, 5. The more you raise your equilibrium level, you'll eventually get to face these tougher like things right here, depending on your level, and you get better rewards for it, which is so cool. Especially this, I actually got wiped out because like this boss came Kafka, You probably know Kafka. Kafka is like one of the characters that appeared in the beginning of the game, and which will likely be a playable character. And I kind of got destroyed because she's tough as hell. And yeah, this is like the most fun endgame content I've ever like experienced. Also, the fact that there's like 6 worlds. They'll probably release another world in the future, but like this is currently our endgame content. And also, if you clear this, you get 5-star light cones. Literally, you get 5-star light cones. You only get 3 because I already used one. But like these are 5-star light cones, and you get to refine them using these things if you purchase these, and they're Star Rail passes. But like people are gonna be like getting these. You can literally get a 5-star light cone for free. Like how cool is that? Like literally, how cool is that? And light cones are like the basis of like your weapons from Genshin, and they don't really need a main set. All you really need is the effect of your path of the character, in which our effects are super valuable in this game, which is pretty cool. But anyways, there's not much that I can really say, except the fact that I hope you guys give Honkai Star Rail a try, because I know that the game itself has been already out for a week, and like millions of people, or 10 millions of people have already pre-registered. It's one of the hottest turn-based games right now. I know like people, JRPG community, are playing Xenoblade, and I think Xenoblade's cool, but this right here, I want you guys to give it a shot. And if you don't like it, well, me as a Trails fan, I really like this game and Persona, and like I really love turn-based games. And if it's not a turn-on for you, then it's not up for everyone, because like turn-based games are not for everyone. But I think this is a really solid turn-based game that everyone should play, and at least give it a try, because like if you go full-on investment in it, you will not be disappointed with what stuff they're gonna give you. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video of my Honkai Star Rail like overall experience. I know it's like 32 minutes long, and like I hope you guys give this game a try. And sorry for my language. My language is pretty mummified at the moment, but yeah. See you guys all for more Star Rail content.